All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for our call this morning with Drew Allar. As always, please raise your hand and I will call on you to help us get through everyone. Please keep your turn to one question. We'll start with Rich Scarcella.
Thanks, Paul. Drew, good morning, and thank you for doing this. I was just wondering if there's one thing that you learned from Saturday night, what would that be?
I think the main thing I learned from Saturday night is obviously as an offense we had a pretty good game, but there's still a lot of things to clean up. We left a lot of points on the board, got into the red zone a few times, and just wasn't able to, punch it into the end zone. So still a lot of things to clean up, but we also had a lot of things to build off of and things that we did really good. So I mean, just a lot of positive from the games, but a lot of things that we can still improve on.
Audrey Snyder.
Hey, Drew, thanks for doing this. When you kind of look back at some of the throws that you made Saturday night, how do you feel about that, particularly the first one, the touchdown to Keandre? What kind of feedback have you been getting from coaches, teammates, people around campus about that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess just in general, I felt pretty good about everything, just ball placement wise. Obviously, Dre had a really good route on that play. Did a really good job of uncovering and making himself open on the play. So, I mean, I was just proud of how we were as a team, as a unit, especially with all the timing. I thought we had really good timing between quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, and tight ends. So I thought everybody was on the same page, and it really paid off for us.
Tony Collins.
Hi, Drew. Speaking of Dre, what kind of change in the offense and change in him have you seen since the Rose Bowl, confidence wise, and how has that affected you guys as an offense?
Yeah, I think as an offense, we wanted to take that next step because obviously last year we had a really good offense as well, but we knew we could improve on a lot more things, and I think we did a great job of being in that growth mindset of wanting to get better and knowing we could get better and just working at it really hard even when it was tough because we go against a great defense every day. So at times it was tough and we weren't seeing the results right away, but we stuck to it, stuck to the process, and it's paying off so far. And as far as Dre, obviously he had a really good game on Saturday, and he really took the next step this year. I thought he was a lot more consistent this offseason with his approach to everything. He got a routine down, and always saw him in the building, and so did all the receivers as a room in general. They all took their approach to the next level, and I think that's really paying off for all of them right now.
Mark Wogenrich.
Hey, Drew, thanks for doing this. I wanted to ask you about Beau. What do you learn from him playing alongside him for the last year, playing with him for the last year, and then his touchdown? What did that, I guess, mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think we learn a lot from each other because quarterback's one of those positions where you're always learning, and I think we both do. Everybody in the room does a great job of learning from each other and asking questions, whether it be him in and I'm asking him questions or I'm in and he's asking me questions. I think we do a really good job of communicating what we're seeing from both views, maybe what we saw behind the quarterback or what we saw on the field. And obviously I was just really excited for Beau to finally get in the game, and he scored a touchdown. So that was really good. He was a really smooth operator out there, got us into some good checks, did a good job of managing the clock, but the situation we were in at the time and just getting the offense set up and everybody set in the right spot. So he did a great job when he got in there, and it's really cool to see him go out there and play just because of all the hard work he puts in.
Ben Jones.
Hey, Drew, appreciate you. If there was a quarterbacking book, it would probably say, don't throw it across your body, don't throw it off your back foot, don't pressure it too tightly into things. But when you have an arm that lets you do that stuff, how do you balance sort of classical principles of good decision-making with what you are able to do that might be unique to other people?
Yeah, I think it's all in risk management or risk opportunity. There's certain points in games and drives where you need to take risk. One that I think of right now is the third down where I hit Dre coming back across the field. In that situation, I mean, it was third down. We need to get a first down or at least get half because we might have gone for it in that situation just because of where we were at on the field at that point. And, you kind of just have to push it a little bit and test the limits. But I think it all comes down to opportunity and risk opportunity and just assessing that, because obviously there's some points in the game, like if you're up in a 1-score game and the clock's winding down, you don't want to force anything that could possibly lead to a turnover and turn the game and flip the game over. So I think it's just all in, assessing it pre-snap and knowing what you can and can't do in certain situations.
Tyler Donahue.
Hey, Drew, hope you're good this morning. Wanted to ask about Malik McLean. Curious what he's done since he got to campus in January to put himself in a position to contribute the way he did in week 1. And if there's some ways that you and him were able to build on chemistry in a relatively short period of time this year.
Yeah, I mean, Malik McLean has an outstanding work ethic. One of the hardest workers on the team by far. In the spring, obviously, it was an adjustment coming from Florida State, where he transferred from, and he did a really good job in the spring, even though everything was pretty new to him. And I think he did a great job this offseason of just being the same guy every day, coming into the building early, whether it be getting treatment, getting in the tubs, or getting on the jugs with all the other receivers. He did an outstanding job of just enhancing everything and improving in all areas of his game. And then when it finally got to fall camp, I mean, he really just took that next step forward. He was a lot more consistent. He knew what he was doing. He was bringing those other guys along with him, some of the younger guys that just got on campus at the time. And I mean, he's just really reliable. I think we can all depend on him. He wants us to be able to depend on him, and I think he did a great job with that throughout camp and obviously the first game of the season. So I'm really excited for him.
Greg Pickle.
Drew, what has Danny OBrien meant to your development, and could you describe his coaching style for us, please?
Yeah, I mean, he's been a huge part of my development, just because with his new role, he's able to be more hands-on with us as opposed to last year where he wasn't really able to coach us just because of all the technicalities with the rules. And when Coach Jurcic was away, since he switched to his new role, he was able to be like a lot more one-on-one with us. And I mean, I think he just sees it from both perspectives as a coach and as a player. Obviously started under Coach Franklin when they were at Maryland together and had a couple of good years at Maryland. And then he played in the CFL for 7-8 years. So he has a lot of knowledge and experience that he learns from. And I mean, he's a young guy that is always looking to improve. He's helped me out a ton with just, calming, like making things simplified, identifying defenses, and just really peeling it back to the next level and making sure that I have a reason for doing everything. And him and Coach Jurcic are always on the same page. So Danny has meant a lot to my development, and I'm just glad he's a part of the staff for sure.
Daniel Gallen.
Morning, Drew. We saw Liam Clifford take the majority of the snaps in the slot on Saturday night. He's someone that you brought up over the summer as someone who'd been impressing you. What does he bring to that slot position, and what has he done over the past year to put himself in this position to contribute?
Yeah, I think he's just a very hard worker, just like the rest of the receiver room. So he's very consistent. He's the same guy every day, and I think that puts him into the best position to go out, and he knows what he's doing. Has that quarterback background, and obviously Sean, being his brother, knows what the quarterback's thinking. And I think he just does a really good job of communicating with us and asking us like what we thought of his route, maybe what he could have done differently, what he did good. And I think he's just a very consistent player. And people don't give him credit for how athletic he really is and how explosive he is. And I think that showed over the summer with all the work he put in. I always see him in the building getting extra stretching in and just making sure his body's ready to go. And the biggest thing is he's just very consistent as a football player and as an individual. So I think that's what's led to all his success so far this season.
Johnny McGonigal.
Yeah, Drew, thanks for your time, man. The poise that you had on Saturday night, the control of the offense is something that your teammates gave you a lot of credit for after the game. Going into it, how confident were you that you would have that command of the offense, making checks, changing calls? And did you surprise yourself at all in that area?
No, I wouldn't say I surprised myself just because of the preparation that the whole team puts in throughout the week. I mean, we really prepare we prepare very hard and very diligently. And I think the coaching staff does a great job of getting us ready to play, making sure we understand the why behind the what, whether it be certain checks and being able to, if we look back to the sideline, being able to anticipate certain checks on certain play calls. And I think that just a credit to the whole coaching staff as a whole and us as players taking it personally and wanting to be putting us in a best position to go out there and just play loose and free. Because I know for me personally, at least, that's when I play at my best is when I'm like just loose, free, and confident. Just because that's when I just go out and play and don't think about anything.
Ali Barubi.
Hey, Drew. I think you and Beau have both talked a lot about making each other better on the field, but I think it's unique that you've both been in the program the same amount of time and got to learn from a guy like Sean who was there forever. Like, what is the relationship like as you guys try and lead this team, so early into both of your college careers? Like, how do you balance each other and try and help each other?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we just have the same end goal. We want to go out and win. We want to put the team in the best position to go out and be 1-0 every week. Because at the end of the day, we're here to win games, and not it's not about stats. At the end of the day, we just worry about that win-loss column, and I think we both have the same mentality and the same work ethic. So that really just helps us, come closer together. And I think us being the two older guys in the room now really helps, just because we're able to teach the offense more, whether it be to Jax and the young quarterbacks in the room, or to the whole offense as a whole when we meet with skill positions to, break down opposing defenses, just to get an understanding of them so we're all on the same page. So I think that really helps us as a whole, just because we all have the same end goal in mind.
Time for two more. John Petitschnau.
Hey, Drew, Saturday night after the game, you're walking through the tunnel on the way to the locker room. Fans are going crazy. They're cheering your name. They're celebrating. What are you thinking and feeling in that moment?
I'm probably just thinking more relief, just because we went out and did what we were supposed to do. We got the win, and that's all that matters to me at the end of the day, and that's all that matters to the team at the end of the day. So to be able to go out and play well in that type of environment against that type of team, it was very rewarding, just because we know all the work that we put in since January, since the end of last season, and definitely just reap the rewards on Saturday. So we want to have that same feeling every weekend. So we have to be able to flip the switch now and just forget about last week, because that last week is over, and we have to prepare. We have to really prepare this week.
Final question, Audrey Snyder.
Real quick, you were named the Big Ten's Offensive Player of the Week. What does that mean to you? And obviously, because they just tweeted it out now, what does that mean to you? And how would you kind of assess what you want to accomplish here going into start 2?
That's really cool to win that type of award, but we always talk about with team success becomes individual success, and I think that's a credit to the whole team, because I wouldn't be in that position without the offensive line. First and foremost, we go as they go. They had a really strong game on Saturday, and it was really good to see them go out and play, and see a lot of different guys get up in that rotation and up front. And I think the receivers as a whole did really well. So it wasn't just me; it was the whole team, and that's including defense and special teams too. So, it's very cool to see. But I'm not worried about the individual accolades at all. Just worried about the team success.